Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. We're going to go ahead and just give it a few minutes here before we get started, just to allow some more people to join us, and then we'll go ahead and get started. We'll give it just another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for your patience. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar that I'm just really excited to present to all of you, where we're going to be introducing all of you to Bandwango DXE, which is our new platform to really enable you to build passives faster and easier than ever before. This was quite a popular webinar. We have over 300 people registered to join us today, and we've got a lot of really exciting things to go through with you all. So a quick agenda on the topics I'm going to be going through during our time together. I'll quickly just give you some background on how we got to where we're at today and where we're headed. I'll go through an overview of the new features that are going to be available within the new Bandwango DXE. We'll briefly talk about a timeline on the rollout plan for all of our customers to get in here. And then on this call, I'm going to do a live demonstration. I'm actually going to build a pass in real time for you on this call to really highlight the ease and simplicity that we're shooting for with this new platform. And then we'll close it out with a Q&A. As I go through all of this stuff within the presentation area, you'll see a Q&A section. Please feel free to put questions into there. And as we get towards the end, we will go through and answer as many questions as time permits. If we don't have the opportunity to go through all of the questions, we will follow up with you all to provide answers to stuff. Or if you want to reach out to your client success specialist as well, they'll be able to answer any questions that you have. So all of you are amazing partners of ours as we're really trying to hit this grand, audacious vision and mission of ours, which is to drive 10 million visits within all of your communities. As you can see on this chart, we are well on our way to getting to 10 million. I joke with the team that when we get to 10 million, I'm going to change the goalpost to 100 million. But as you can see here, we're nearing 4 million customer visits within Bandwango communities, which are about 475 of them now across the US and Canada. Today is a really significant milestone in our company's journey. What I'm going to present today is really going to further fuel our efforts towards getting to that 10 million to drive more and more customers into all of your communities. And I wanted to briefly start off by sort of talking about where we're at today versus where we are now headed with the release of the new Bandwango DXE. So as you're all aware, today there is approximately a 45 to 90 day build process. We use Asana as a project management system to manage all of the different tasks and some of the complexities that were required in order to build passes. We have multiple meetings with you today, project planning meetings, check-in meetings, kickoff meetings. There's a lot of manual data entry right now required to build these passes. And then even after you launch a pass or while you're doing onboarding a pass, you're submitting service ticket requests for a lot of things that should be quite simple. So that's really where we're at today. What we've basically done over the last now about 12 to 15 months is our product and engineering team has been really hard at work in taking all of the knowledge that we've now gained after doing this for a number of years, after now building and launching over 2,000 passes with over 450 customers. And this is really going to lead us now to the future of where we're headed. The future of Bandwango really looks like a system where you can build passes between 1 and 21 days. Some of the simplest passes, what we call these check-in challenges or savings passes where you have all the offers, those can be built now very, very quickly in this new system. The new system is going to include a self-guided pass builder that'll make it significantly easier for you to build passes within the system. There's a variety of templates and automation we've built into the system. And then even after your passes have launched, we've created a really seamless way to do pass management. Now, obviously, as a lot of you know, the build process, the time it takes to build passes is sometimes contingent on the merchant onboarding and outreach phase. There are certain types of passes that take significantly longer. So I always want to put that sort of caveat in there. But everything we're going to talk about today really highlights and spotlights the point that we are going to make passes incredibly easy to build in this new system. I want to briefly just talk through the high-level process and the steps it's going to take to be able to build your passes. So we like to, on a simple way, talk about the build process in 4 very easy steps. Step 1 being configure your pass based on predefined use case templates. We've taken the years of experience and the thousands of passes we've now built. We've condensed these into a curated set of use cases that we know work really well. And our pass builder that you're going to see is based on these different use cases. Step 2 is to either create your inventory in the scenario where you are doing the onboarding and getting the coupons, the tickets, the tastings from your businesses on your own, or you can use the Bandwango platform to invite your businesses into the system and to submit inventory directly into the platform. Once you have that inventory, you can simply add that to your pass, finish off perhaps some final configuration steps, and actually launch your pass. So as you can see here, we have a simple diagram that sort of articulates the steps of this process that I've talked about. Now, the new system is a significant leap forward from our current back-end system. I'm certain that a lot of you currently log into our platform to access probably reporting as the most common reason, and you probably see that there's a lot of stuff in the current back-end. There's a lot of inherent complexity involved in building passes that are bringing together 10, 20, 30 different locations and businesses into one cohesive experience that's delivered to your customers. With our new system, we are simplifying a lot of different things. We're taking an inherently complex process and we're making it very, very simple for all of you. So what I wanted to do now is just briefly go through some of the key features of the new platform, just to give you a bit of an understanding of the things that you're going to be able to now do directly within the system in a manner that's not going to be as confusing for you. So first and foremost, global settings. Right now, obviously, you're submitting a lot of these things in Asana via service ticket requests. The new settings section is going to allow you to manage your global settings very quickly and easily. Simple things like updating your organization's information, if you're doing paid passes, setting default tax rates, quickly being able to update your brand color, update your images, update your logos, and just a very simple interface. Secondly, user management is now available in the new platform. Right now, again, you guys are probably submitting service ticket requests to get a new user added into the system. You will now be able to, right in the system, easily add a new user for access to the backend. That user will simply receive an email where they can log in and set their password in the system. So these are what I'll call the sort of boring aspects of the system, but I wanted to just sort of touch on these things that you will be able to do. Now, some of the really new and exciting features that we're building in this system are first and foremost what we're calling place management. So you can sort of think of this as you'll initially define your network of places that you want to include into your past programs. So within this place management section, you'll be able to easily add places to your network via simple Google searches, or perhaps if you have a place that's maybe not on Google, it's a very unique location to your community, you'll also be able to manually add locations here. You can simply drop a pin at the location of the different place. We have implemented some generative AI where you'll be able to automatically generate descriptions if maybe you don't have one readily available or you want our system to sort of provide one for you. If you have one, you can also easily add that in here. We've also now integrated Google Photos. If you don't have photos readily available, you can use the Google Photos integration where it will automatically pull in a photo. And again, you can automatically change that one as well if you do have one of them. This is where you can also add and manage contacts at the different locations that you want to work with. A lot of times our clients are using our onboarding platform to do outreach to the businesses, to get them in to provide their inventory, and you're easily able now to manage contacts here. And then lastly, if you are doing check-in challenges that require PIN numbers or restaurant weeks and restaurant months that require PIN numbers, you can very easily manage your PIN numbers right over here. So the first step along the process is place management, defining all the locations that you want to include in your programs. This is in parallel to our current process, where a first step of the process is typically you providing us with a list of the locations that you want to include in the program. This will now become significantly easier to not only add, but also manage in the longer term. Things to do management is the second step of the process. So what this basically means is an easy system where you can create inventory. When I say inventory, I mean coupons, tickets, tastings, tours, different activities and things to do with their businesses that you're including in your programs. And so again, if you were onboarding the businesses on your own, if you're collecting all of these inventory and then submitting it to us, this is now a very easy way where you can literally build this inventory on the fly in the system. And so we've implemented a lot of product templates for coupons, for admissions, for food and beverage vouchers in the system to make it very easy for you to build this inventory. As you grow in the platform, you have more and more inventory. We have improved search capabilities to allow you to find and filter things very quickly. There's default and templated copy to make it easy for you to configure these things. And as you see on the screen here, we've even built a live preview mode so you can actually see what it's going to look like on the actual mobile pass. Prizes in the new system are also now significantly easier. As we all know, you're all submitting service ticket requests to create prizes, to modify prizes, to add quantity, and all of those things. There's now a dedicated prize manager within the new Bandwango DXE. So within this prize management tool, you can create and manage prizes. You can manage the remaining quantity that's available. You can define available date ranges. So some of you are doing seasonal check-in challenges where maybe you don't want prizes to be available all the time. You can create and manage your attributes here. You can define delivery methods, whether you want it shipped, whether you want to allow local pickup at a location, and you can also enable Bandwango fulfillment directly in the prize management solution. So there's a lot of really great enhancements here that allow you to easily manage your prizes directly within the system. Channel management is another really exciting new feature. So channels in our system, you can think of as distribution channels, as different channels that you want to set up where you can distribute your passes and your experiences. So your website might be considered one channel. You might have a conference coming into town and you want to create a custom white label channel just for that conference. Maybe it has the conference branding on it. Maybe you want to provide a discount to your paid passes specifically for that audience. The new channel management system allows you to not only create these channels very easily, but it also allows you to manage your channels very, very easily. Within this system, you can easily add and remove your passes and inventory if you are, for example, creating marketplaces where you're selling individual tickets, tours, and activities. You can now easily set activation and deactivation dates. So no more do we have to manually remove these things. You can set the date ranges very easily here. As you see on the screen to the right here, you can very easily now customize the sign up and purchase cards. We have built a live preview here. So as you're changing either the button label or the tag text and the tag color, you'll see these changes happen in real time. You can also very easily now view and generate embed and module codes. So when we're integrating the Bandwango system onto your website, currently our team is providing these codes to you. You can now very easily access these codes. And as I'll show you later, you can even preview exactly what this is going to look like right on this page. And as I mentioned earlier, you can override global images and global colors. Again, let's say you have a special group or a convention coming into town. You want to give them their own white label branding. You can do all of that in the channel management solution. And then lastly, you can even customize outbound communication. So when a customer signs up for a pass, what does that text message look like? You can customize that type of stuff. And the FAQs as well can be completely customized in the channel management tool. The pass builder is really the heart of this, and this is where most of the development effort really went into over this last year. Like I said earlier, what we're trying to do is take a somewhat complex process of taking 10, 20, 30 disparate locations and inventory into cohesive experience passes that can be easily built. So as you'll see here, we've built this in a way that gives you a step-by-step instruction on how to actually build these passes. Like I said, we've now built over 2,000 passes. We've learned a lot along the way in terms of what works really well and what doesn't work really well. And we've taken all that knowledge and developed numerous pass templates to make it very easy for you to build the most popular types of passes that we see success with. Within the pass building solution, you can easily add places into your pass. You can add existing inventory. So again, going back to the use case where perhaps you're doing the outreach, you're visiting your businesses and getting the inventory, you can easily just add that into the pass and launch it. Or if you perhaps have a pass that you've already built, maybe you have a paid attractions pass, or maybe you have a savings pass, and you want to quickly create a variant of that pass that maybe includes a certain subset of attractions or only certain types of coupons, you can very quickly just add those into your pass right over here. Like I said earlier, a lot of our customers want our system to do the outreach and the onboarding of businesses for them to accept these invitations and actually provide inventory into these passes. Very easily in this pass building solution, you can invite businesses, you can define exactly what you're looking for, and you can even review submissions as they come in real time and approve them into your pass. Here you can also customize your pass descriptions, your pass images, your FAQs. You can configure pass durations. You can set up all of your gamification here, how many points people earn. If you want to give custom overrides, maybe you have a featured member that you want to give more point value to. You can do all of those types of things within our new pass builder. If you're building a paid pass, you can also configure all of your pricing. You can define attributes. So if there's an adult, child, senior, you can define all of that here. And then you can custom create categories for every individual pass that you have. And so you might have a specific pass where maybe you want to create a category that's dog-friendly patios. You can easily create categories specific to your passes now directly within this pass building system. So I went through a lot of things, and there's a lot that we've built. I just want people to be aware that there are still certain features that we have not yet made available. We are actively in the process of scoping and planning to develop these, but I wanted to briefly just touch on features that aren't just yet available, but just to let you all know, we are actively working to get all this stuff built so that the full feature capability of the platform can be available to you. A few weeks ago, our customer advisory board, we held our first subgroup on reporting, where we learned a lot from our customers about reporting. Based on that, we're now in the planning process of rebuilding dashboards and creating pass-specific reporting. What this basically means is you'll be able to see reporting that's very relevant and specific to a specific type of pass that you have launched. Right now, our reporting, there's a lot of data in there, and we realize that. And so we're trying to make this a lot easier to really surface the most important metrics for each of these different passes within the system. Promotions is another feature that we are in the process of scoping out and building. Essentially, if you're doing paid passes, some of our customers want to create promo codes, marketing messages. A lot of our customers are sending text messages to customers based on specific triggers or at specific times. And then lastly, wholesale rate contracting. We are working to bring the contracting part of this into the actual platform. Now, even though these features are not yet available in the new system, all of these features still exist. It's all still functional. And so what you'll need to do as we talk about the timeline here, these are the types of things for the short term you will still be submitting service tickets for, and our team will assist you to get these set up. So it's not that the features are gone. We simply have not yet rebuilt them in this new system. I also want to briefly touch on upcoming innovations. This is a really significant milestone for the company for us to be able to get to a easy-to-use, more self-serve system. As we're building out the remaining elements of functionality, we're also actively continuing to build innovative new features within the platform. So these features are actively being worked on by our product and engineering teams. One, quizzes are coming your way. What this basically means is it's a new type of check-in where the customer needs to answer a quiz question in order to successfully check into a location. That is actively worked on by engineers right now. Oops, sorry about that. And the team is actively building it. Secondly, QR code redemptions are coming. What this basically means is we've gotten great feedback from our customers where it would be awesome if instead of a customer needing to activate GPS and geofence a check-in or get a PIN number, if they can simply scan a QR code at a location and have them checked in, that feature is actively being built right now by the engineering team. We are also building social sharing and referral points into the platform, essentially allowing you to enable social sharing for your passes and also enabling the opportunity for your customer to earn points towards prizes when they refer a customer and that customer successfully signs up for a pass. Lastly, we are building QR code pass signups. What that basically means is right now, in order for somebody to sign up or purchase one of your passes, they need to go to your website. They need to click on add to cart. They need to proceed to checkout. They need to put in their information, then get the text message to be into the pass. What we're right now developing is a new way for customers to sign up for your passes. Initially, this will just be free passes, but basically what this is you can display a QR code, maybe on a billboard, maybe on a window cleaning your businesses, maybe via an email outreach, and the customer can simply scan that QR code with their phone. We'll then take the customer into a version of the mobile pass where they can just see all the experiences available to them. They can click sign up and put their information in, and they're immediately within the pass experience. So in this scenario, you wouldn't necessarily have to integrate the Bandwango elements onto your website. And then lastly, we've gotten great feedback and feature requests from customers that are really chomping at the bit for in-pass voting. Happy to announce we are actively in the process of scoping this out, working through designs, getting feedback from customers on the specific features you want to see with in-pass voting. We got some great feedback from a customer yesterday interested in seeing if we can do brackets with this voting. And so this is a feature that is highly requested that we are now actively working on as well. So before I dive into a live demo, let's talk a little bit about the timeline. I want to try to get all of you into the system as quickly as possible, but we're really trying to be strategic and thoughtful of how we do this to ensure that we're enabling you all to be successful in this system. So right now we are in stage 1 of our release. What this basically means is our 14-member customer advisory board are going through beta testing in this system over the next week and a half to provide feedback. We have 2 of our customer advisory members already scheduled to go through the beta testing and actually build passes that are actually real passes that they're going to build, and we're going to get the rest of the CAB members through this in the next week to week and a half. In parallel to that, we are actively building out a knowledge base. We're building in-app guided walkthroughs, and we're also reworking a handful of our systems and processes just to ensure we can fully support all of you when you're actively using the Path platform, either with or without our support. So that's stage 1, the phase that we're currently in. We anticipate this will be a few weeks for us to get through this initial stage. Stage 2 is what I'll call the client sort of focus stage. Basically, we looked at the data on the inbound service ticket requests that you're all submitting. Things like update a mobile pass description or image, add a merchant, remove a merchant, update an offer, update or add a price. 85% of those inbound service tickets are those things which are all possible in the new platform. And so we want to start by enabling all of you to come into the system and be able to tackle some of these things. As always, our team is always here to support you, but we've gotten a lot of feedback from customers of it would be easier if I could just go in and do it instead of logging in, clicking service request form, filling out a form, waiting for a turnaround versus being able to log in and simply do it. So that's the first part of stage 2. The second part of stage 2 is enabling specific clients to start building some of our what I call simpler pass types. Check-in challenges, savings passes, restaurant weeks and restaurant months. We want to enable customers to be invited into the platform to begin building these passes. Between stage 2 and stage 3, we're working very diligently right now to enable paid items to be easily created in the system. So stage 3 is really where all customers have access to the new Bandwango DXE, and here we're able to create all pass types, including free passes and paid passes within the new system. So I wanted just to give everyone an overview of how we're thinking about this release, because we just want to make sure that when you're in the system, it's intuitive, that you have the right instruction and education and the ability to contact our team easily if you have any questions. And we're working very diligently to put all of this infrastructure in place right now. As you can probably imagine, for the last handful of years, we've been a company where our team has supported all aspects of pass building and pass management, and our systems and processes were built from that perspective. So we're now reworking a lot of these things to support clients actively using the system with or without our support. So that's a high-level overview of how we got here, where we're now headed, some of the key features of the platform. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to build a pass for all of you in real time on this actual call. So the only thing I did before this call is I created this really crappy looking image. This just highlights that I'm not a designer, I'm an engineer. Our design area said, hey, the contrast isn't so good here, but I did the best that I can. What we're going to be building is what I'll call Mo's Faves Pass. basically my 5 favorite locations in Salt Lake City. We're going to build a gamified check-in challenge with some prizes just to highlight to all of you how much easier we are going to make this process. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this presentation, and I'm going to open up the backend system. So as I mentioned earlier, the first step of the process is really establishing your places, the locations that you want to include in a current or future type of pass. You can either establish your network here on Places to Go Management, but we all also have enabled the ability for you to do it as you're actually building your pass. So as we go through my 5 favorite places here, Snowbird Resort is one of my just favorite places in the absolute world. And I love to snowboard. And so here I search Google, I find Snowbird, I click on add, and you'll see here I get a pop-up that shows me Snowbird's location. Now, if I already had a description, I can put it here, but I can also click on auto-generate, and ChatGPT will actually give me a description in real time. This is actually a Google image. So this was pulled directly from Snowbird's Google listing. As we mentioned earlier, you can very easily override this image if you have your own image. You'll also notice here that I can easily add contacts. If you have contacts at these locations, you can easily add them here, because later in the process, if you decide that you want to invite Snowbird to join your program, you will need to add the contact information into this. Categories is another thing you can easily add here. So we'll just put this under activities and leisure right now, and we'll go ahead and click save. So now I've added Snowbird into the pass I'm going to create. I'm going to quickly add the remaining ones. Red Iguana is some of the best Mexican food in Salt Lake City. If any of you come to Salt Lake, reach out to me. I will happily take you there. They have some of the best mole I've ever had. So again, you'll notice that we have a description that I previously auto-generated here. This is an image that we put in, and previously I had defined the category as restaurant. And we don't have any contacts here, but that's okay, because let's just assume I'm going to go to Red Iguana and get a coupon directly from them and not need to invite them into the system. Let's also think about Gateway Plaza, which is an incredible shopping district in downtown Salt Lake City. Now I'm just going to quickly go through this piece. We'll just auto-generate a description again. Let ChatGPT do its thing, and let's make this a shopping type of category right over here. Save this one. Lagoon is a great amusement park in Salt Lake City. Again, you just easily type it in Google. You find Lagoon right over there. Add that. It pulls it all up. Here's the image that we had. I previously generated this description, and I can pick a category for Lagoon, one that might closely match what I'm trying to do. And for this one, let's just pick activities and leisure. Let's pick attractions as well for this one and set 2 categories. And then lastly, Antelope Island State Park. Fun fact, this is the largest population of free-roaming bison in North America. So really fun place to go visit. This is in the heart of the Great Salt Lake in Salt Lake City. Again, let's just quickly generate a description because I might not have one off the top of my head. And let's make this a category, and let's choose parks for this one. So now I've established the places in my network. Now if we go to things to do, let's just say, for example, I went to Red Iguana and I said, hey, can you give me a coupon? And I didn't want to maybe invite them in to have to go through the process. I know a lot of our customers are doing this onboarding on their own. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a new thing. Let's just say I create a coupon. We have a very simple templating system now where we can say, I want to create a buy one, get one free coupon. I'll say buy one appetizer, get one appetizer free. You can define a description. You can define restrictions. Here you can say, maybe Red Iguana said to me, hey, I want my customers to be able to use this every week. You can define these to be repeated in the system. And then you can define some very simple instructions. You'll notice this is in person. We have default options for you to choose, or you can put your own custom instruction here. For this one, let's choose server for this and save and preview. As I mentioned earlier, we've created preview modes all around this platform where you can actually see what this is actually going to look like on your pass. You can even go through the redemption process to make sure it all looks good and it meets what you're looking for. and then we can go ahead and submit it. And so one path is you can create all the inventory on behalf of your merchants and not require them to come into the system. So now that I've defined my places and defined my things, because I'm going to create a gamified pass, let's just create a quick little prize here. Let's just say we want to create a Bandwango sticker. You can add a simple highlight for this sticker, and let's just say, I want to say, oh, sorry about that. Let's just say pick up your sticker at a location. I'll say there's 100 of these available. I don't care about the active range. Like I said earlier, you can add attributes, or if you're doing like a t-shirt prize, you can choose small, medium, large. In this case, I want Bandwango to fulfill this prize for me, and I want it to be shipped directly to the customer. And then I'm also going to quickly just add an image into here through the image uploader. So if you click on upload image, we will see an image right over here. And let's see if I actually have an image. I think I do right over there. And that's the image. So if you want to get this awesome Go sticker for your laptop, you have to visit my favorite locations on the actual pass. So we're going to go ahead and save this prize. So now let's dive into the actual pass building process. So I go to the passes section, I click create new pass. So I'm going to choose a gamified pass. As I mentioned, we found the top most popular pass types, and we've created templates for all of these. So this is a gamified pass. I want this to be, let's say, a GPS or a GPS or pin. Let's just choose GPS, where you have to be within a certain radius of the location. And let's call this Mo's Faves Pass. So I saved that, and the next step of the process is going to be adding a simple description of your pass. We'll go back to that really crappy image that I created earlier, and we'll just go ahead and use that for this pass, which is Mo's Fave Pass right there. So this is the image I'm going to go ahead and use for this pass, and go ahead and save this page. The next step of the process is going to be the places. So I mentioned earlier, you might want to initially just establish your network before you build passes. Maybe you're saying, well, let me just get all my locations in here, and then as I want to build passes, I can easily just add them in. So there you choose from my network, and you can just say, I want to add all these locations into my pass right over here. As I said, you can also add them in real time. If you do this, you will also be adding them to your network. And if you can't find a place on Google search, maybe it's a really custom location for you, you can manually add locations directly here as well. Another really cool feature we've added here is by default, we'll take the global location information. So for Antelope Island, this is the global, but maybe you're doing a seasonal pass. Maybe you're doing something special where you want to use a different description. Maybe you want to use a different image because maybe it's a holiday shopping pass. You can now override names, descriptions, and images on a pass-by-pass basis. You can also override the name of check-ins directly here for this specific location, and you can add in specific information about the check-in at this specific location. So we're making it much easier now for you to have one single location in our platform, but maybe you want to describe them a little bit differently based on the pass that you're building. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue here, and this is now going to take me to the inventory page. So we are automatically creating the check-ins for you now. Because this is a check-in challenge, you don't have to worry about creating these. Our system handles all of that for you. Earlier, I said that I went to Red Iguana, I talked to the manager, and they gave me a coupon. So in that case, I might say, let me just go ahead and add this coupon into my pass. So I can go ahead and add that into my pass right over here and go ahead and save it. Now, similarly, there might be locations where you want to actually invite them in. So this is our brand new, what we're calling campaigns or invitations section. What this basically means is you might say, okay, I want to have a coupon added to my pass. I want to maybe provide these clear instructions to the locations, and maybe I only want BOGOs. Maybe I only want free X with Ys, or maybe I want any coupon. You can very clearly now define what you're looking for from these businesses. So here, maybe I want something from Gateway, from Lagoon, and from Snowbird, but Red Iguana, I already have something, so I don't need to ask for anything else. When I click on Save, now you can actually configure your invitations. And so basically, here is where you can start to say, okay, here's the information that I want to actually send to these locations when I invite them into the program. So I'll put a quick invite message here, essentially articulating, hey business, this is why you should join my pass. In this case, maybe because I have 100,000 followers. I don't, I have like 4, but I wish I had 100,000 followers. Here you can define your anticipated launch date. So this would basically be used if you want to define a launch date that will be used in the messaging to create some urgency, saying, hey, we're going to launch this pass on June 27th, so make sure you sign up by then. And then you can define when you want Bandwango's system to actually start sending invitations. If you leave it blank, it'll start sending them immediately once you click save, but you can also schedule it for the future. You'll notice here we don't have contact information for these 2 locations, so this is where we'd ask you to add some contact information in, and for Snowbird, we already had a contact into here. So when I go ahead and click on save, invites are going to now start to go out. If you want to maybe like walk your merchants through this, or if you want to see exactly what they're going to see, we've added this really simple MP icon. When the merchant gets, or when your business gets an invitation with a link to onboard, this is what they're actually going to see. So you'll notice here, a little information about the pass is shown to your business. We provide some social proof, so here's other businesses that we're inviting into the program. And then here the business can accept or decline. If they decline, we actually ask them for a decline reason, and it's data we're able to capture for you to help understand why a business maybe did not want to join a program. If I go ahead here and click accept, this brings us into our merchant portal. So some of you might have seen this before. This is essentially the portal for the businesses to be able to actually work in the system. And so this is where they can put in some of their location information. In this case, we just want them to put a PIN number in. And this is also where they can provide us inventory into the actual program. So you'll notice here, I'm asking for a coupon. It is optional. As earlier, you can actually make it required to join a program. So maybe when you're creating a savings pass, coupons are required, but maybe on a check-in challenge or a gamified trail, you want to make them optional. So when I click on add coupon, if your merchant already has something, they can just tie it in directly, or right here, they can very easily create a coupon itself. And obviously there's an issue here where we can't create it, but I'll jump out of here and come back over here. So when they create a coupon, you'll actually see a submission come in. So when the coupons actually are submitted by these merchants, they're actually going to show up right over here as pending, meaning the location has just submitted a coupon to you. You can review it in real time, and you can actually accept it directly into your pass. When you do that, you'll actually see that live on the inventory page. And as you're now building your pass, you can preview what this is exactly going to look like as you're building it. So now you can literally see what your pass looks like. You can click into it. You can see exactly what this is going to look like when you actually launch it live. Other things are you can quickly configure gamification now. So we've got this prize. I want to add this prize directly into my pass. It's 100 points. Each location, let's say, is going to be 40 points by default. And a customer has 90 days after the pass ends to exchange their points for prizes. As I mentioned earlier, you can give certain locations more weighting. So maybe it's if you redeem a coupon, we give them more points for that versus a simple check-in. Or maybe Lagoon is a favorite partner where you want to give them more points. You can configure all of that directly in this system. And then categories we mentioned earlier will tell you the categories of locations you already have in the past that you can very quickly just add into here. So we've got these categories already on the pass, so I want to add those in directly. But maybe you say, I want to create a custom category, which is, let's say, featured members. So you can basically create this custom category and say, of these, Antelope, Gateway, and Lagoon are my featured members that I want to give a special category for, and click on Save. FAQs are pretty self-explanatory. You can customize these however you'd like. Redemptions is where you define the duration of your pass. So I'll say this pass is activated immediately when somebody signs up, and it's valid for 1 year after sign up. And then lastly, you can customize a part of the checkout, the bullet points you're going to see that I'll show you in just a moment. So that's quickly building a pass. Lastly is we're going to go into channels and actually add the pass that is created to a distribution channel. So in this case, I just created Mo's Fave Pass. I'm going to go ahead and add that right over here. This is where some really cool features have been developed. So here you can actually see what this is going to look like when it's on your site. You can toggle things on and off and make changes to this. You can say, get my pass. You'll see those changes there. You can define that there's great prizes. You can add a different tag to that over here. Go ahead and update that. This is where you can also capture your embed codes and these different elements. And this is also where you can see exactly what this is going to look like when it's actually on your site. And so here, let's just go through this. This is fully functional, where you can actually go through some tests and say, let me actually sign up for my pass. Let me get it delivered to my phone, and let me actually see what this is going to look like when I get it delivered. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this again. And as I complete this, I'm going to pull over my phone. This is my actual phone that you're seeing on our screen over here. I just received a text message for the pass I just signed up for. You can totally customize what this text message is in the communication part of this section. And clicking on this, you're now going to see literally the pass that I just built in about 10-ish minutes through the new system. So this is Mo's Faves Pass. In this pass, you can visit my favorite locations. Red Iguana provided us with a coupon that I can use in the program. As I check into different locations, I can earn prizes through the system. And all of this was done very, very easily within our new system. So I know I went through a lot of information there. This webinar will be recorded and shared with all of you as well, so you can see it all. But I wanted to pause for a moment now and shift over to a Q&A session to answer questions from everyone as they're actually coming in. So I know we have about 13 minutes. What we'd like to do now is go through Q&A for all of these different things. So let's just start at the top on the questions that have been asked. There's a bunch of questions here. I'm just going to start at the top. Henry asked, when will Bandwango be available in Europe? Technically, Henry, it is available. We actually do have an enterprise customer right now in Western Europe that's launched passes in Spain and in Greece. We'd love to talk to you about what you're interested in doing. We're trying to be very just thoughtful of how we support customers across the globe, but we'd love to hear from you as what you're thinking. But technically speaking, we are able to do a lot of things. We are SOC 2 compliant. We do have the ability to do localization in the platform, and so we could do something with you. We'd love to hear more from you on what you're thinking. Geeta asked, when images are automatically pulled from Google, is there a system in place that automatically grabs the source URL and adds it to the images? Images on Google are not necessarily free to use. So images on Google, so one, we're using the Google Places API. And so because Bandwango's API license is used, Bandwango is actually incurring the full cost for these images. And the images that the API lets you use are available for commercial use per their terms of service. And so we're bearing the cost. It's through our Google Places API key. And we know that we can use them because Google allows you programmatically to use these images. And we actually are paying every time that image is viewed, but that's a cost that we're actually incurring on behalf of our customers. Does the new platform still require pass holders to re-sign up each year? Chrissy asked that question. That's a great question, Chrissy. Right now it does. That being said, we are looking at ways where, especially when we're doing pass refreshes, when you're refreshing your check-in challenge or refreshing your savings pass, to very quickly allow it just to re-sign up automatically. We'd love to hear from you on specifically what you're thinking and how you think it should work. One of the things we try to be cognizant of is just customers opting in to want to re-sign up every time versus doing it automatically for them. But we'd love to learn more from you what you're thinking there, because that is a feature that we've actually thought about. We would love to learn more on that side of it. Megan asked, what would in-pass voting do? So right now, what we're thinking about in-pass voting is basically choose the favorite location that you visited on the restaurant week or on the gamified check-in challenge. We're looking at ways to only constrict it to places that the customer actually visited, and then based on that, creating leaderboards, creating sweepstakes and giveaways, and really enabling it to be a way where visitors can vote. We are trying to talk with CrowdRiff right now, actually, to do a UGC integration as well. You mentioned the ability to upload photos and do photo contests. Once we can get that part in place, photos is definitely something we're interested in doing. Again, if you can reach out to your CSM, to your success specialist, we'd love to just learn more from what you're thinking, because actually that's a great idea to enable photo contests in the platform. Does it streamline the sign-up process? So Chrissy asked that question. So the next step is we are going to streamline the sign-up process directly on your website. One of the first steps we are taking to streamline that is via that QR code and one link, that instead of needing to go to the site, add to cart, proceed to checkout, put the information in, simply scan that QR code or visit that site, and it'll take you straight into the path where you can just choose the experiences you want, put your information in once, and you're in the actual experience. So that's the first step we're taking to fully streamline the sign-up experience. And then the next phase is we are going to start to look at the checkout flow and the elements that are integrating onto your website to make that much, much easier. Malene asked, when should we expect to arrive to stage 2 of our timeline? Well, I don't have a concrete timeline yet. My hunch is stage 2 on the service ticket stuff is handful of weeks / month or 2 out. We're not very, very far out. The functionality is all there. The biggest thing we're trying to do is make sure we set up the process and the systems just to make sure as customers are now in the system that we can support them in the right way. One example of that is like we're implementing Intercom right now into the platform that enables tickets and knowledge bases and walkthroughs. We just want to make sure that when you're in the system, you're empowered fully with the right information to be able to do these things. As soon as we have a concrete timeline, we will let all of you know. We're working as quickly as we can to get these timelines in place. Tian asked, how many pass builds per year? That's something we're actually looking into in very much detail right now as it relates to our plans and the pricings to figure out how we get all of you in a place where we can lift the cap on the number of passes you can build, because if you're able to build them very quickly and easily, the current limits in place were really put in place due to this managed service that we provide where our team was managing every pass build. So that's something we're trying to get resolution on pretty quickly. Once we have resolution, we will be communicating that out to everyone. Now, will we get image size recommendations for prizes, pass headers? Yes, absolutely. They will be the same sizes that you submitted through Asana, so none of the sizes are going to change. And we are going through right now a full content audit of the system to make sure that size recommendations are adequately there so that you don't have to worry about resizing things as well. Adam asked, will our current locations be auto brought into this library? Yes, they will. So all of your current locations will automatically show up when you get into the system. Not only will all your locations show up, all your inventory will show up, all your passes will show up. We spent a lot of time making sure that everything we're doing is fully reverse compatible. So yes, everything will show up. You won't have to go through the process from scratch. You'll be able to add new locations, but yes, you will be able to do that. The question about having people register again every year, that is something we're actively looking at. You know, the fact that this is asked 3 times, we'll really dive into this. If you can, please reach out to your success specialist with that. I'll get with them and really understand what we're looking to do here, and we will look to see how quickly we can deliver that enhancement to you. Will we be able to edit current passes with the same process? Yep, everything we're doing is built to be reverse compatible. Our goal is to, when we turn this on for everyone, you will be able to edit your current passes with no problem with this new system. We were, again, very careful to make sure everything that we're doing was reverse compatible. Michelle asked if we use SimpleView, will we be able to import listings from SimpleView? We're actually actively talking to SimpleView CRM team right now to be able to import that stuff from the CRM. Myself and a handful of our team are actually flying down to SimpleView on June 12th for a full day meeting with Ryan, their CEO, with Greg, the CRO, with their product team, and with their success team. And one of the topics of discussion is a much deeper integration into SimpleView to make it very easy for you to bring in these listings directly into Bandwango's backend. Is the branding on the email invite custom to us, Bandwango, or both? The branding on the email invite is totally custom to you. You can customize the header image and all of the aspects of that custom to you as well. Jason asked, is there ability to choose whether or not to make these passes live or visible to our Bandwango network? For instance, we might make one that is just for a conference group and we don't want a usual pass holder seeing it. Absolutely, Jason. Within the channel management solution, you can actually toggle not only which passes you want to include in the channel, but you can also choose which passes you want in the Explore tab. It's a section I didn't go into detail on, but it is something that is totally possible in the new system. Sue asked, since the client will do much of the work now, will the price be reduced? Sue, that's something we're actively trying to figure out right now and look at pricing with great detail. Full transparency, one of the things that we're trying to understand and balance is, even though the pass builds will get easier, our team is still supporting all of the pass holder support 7 days a week, all the merchant support, and if there's paid passes, all the accounting. And so we're trying to sort of balance that stuff, because if we take the cap off on the number of passes, and now a customer builds 15 passes instead of 2 passes, we're trying to just fully understand what's going to happen to the support requests that come in, that we have full-time staff helping on that area. And so as soon as we figure this stuff out, we will let everyone know what's going to happen there. Will content, specifically places on existing or expired passes, be integrated to new software? Yes, the content will be integrated to the new software. We're trying to make everything backwards compatible. Timeline for stage 3. My hunch is, again, I don't have a firm timeline. The steps we're trying to go through, again, are immediately, as soon as possible for clients, the service ticket request to make sure you can manage passes. Again, if I had to guess right now, month to a couple months out, this isn't something we're going to draw out. We spent a lot of time building this, testing this, making sure it works well. As soon as we have a timeline, we will let everyone know. And change to contracted amount of pass builds. My hunch is likely, but again, as we know more, we will let you all know there. What does this mean for a client that's currently working on a pass with Bandwango? Nothing's going to change right now. We're going to try to keep everything status quo, and then we will start to transition in some of these changes. One thing we're thinking about, if you're in an active pass build, we're going to let it run through like we currently are before we change everything on these things. Will marketing and SMS messages exist as a self-serve tool? Yes, that is absolutely the plan. That's one of the things we're working on right now. We're also trying to simplify the invoicing and payment process for messaging. That's one of the things we're really looking into right now, is how do we make that very easy, but 100% the plan is to have that in a self-serve tool. Can we switch out email header images per pass? So that's a tricky one, Araceli, only because then the question becomes, what happens if somebody signs up for 2 passes in a single cart? Which one do we use? So right now we have it on a channel basis. So essentially per cart, we're switching them out. It's something we can look at to see what's sort of possible. Danny asked, do we still have a dedicated CSM for any questions while building? Absolutely. One of the things we're known for is really good service. None of that is going to change at all. You will still have CSMs on your account. What we're really trying to do is make this easier, not only for you, but also for our team to be able to build passes for you. Araceli also asks, can you mass upload the list from SimpleView? While it's not possible in the system, our team will do that for you. And so if you have a mass list, send that over and we will be able to get everything loaded on your behalf as well. Will we be doing the same with Tempest? We haven't necessarily had conversations yet with them. If Laura, you can put us in touch with the right success person or the right person at Tempest, we would be happy to explore what it would take to actually be able to do that. Right now, we have an integration with SimpleView in place only. Can we customize the reporting and analytics? For example, rename some of the terms to fit our specific industry and company language and goals. Moline, that's a really good point. If you can reach out to your success manager, we'd love to learn from you what language you're looking for, how you want to do that. And it's definitely something we can look at. Lastly, Araceli, do we automatically get the new self-serve with no additional cost? Absolutely. This is not something that you have to pay more for. This is a full, upgrade to the existing platform. So this is not for only specific customers, for additional cost. Everybody is going to get access to this new system. There's two more quick questions here. We used Bandwango for a holiday promotion, and some of our business owners wanted to see a pass that would have a punch card type experience where the visitor would spend $20 at a business to receive a punch. Once they get so many punches, they'd be entered to win a prize. Dana, yeah, this can actually be done via our check-in challenges. Essentially, what you'd be able to do is change the check-in to spend $20 and receive a punch, and then we can gate that with a PIN number, with a QR code, where the business owners will need to know as long as the customer spends $20, then I can give them the code or I can give them a QR code to scan, and that would track that. And then we are actually looking at a prize type, which would be a giveaway or a sweepstakes as well. So absolutely, that is possible in the system. Last question was around pricing. Again, we're working through pricing as quickly as we can right now. As soon as we have answers there, we will reach out for everyone on that. Photo check-ins, again, as soon as we have more details, we'll let you all know. I know that we're out of time. Any additional questions you have, please reach out to your client success specialist. We will answer all the questions that you have. I know that there was a lot of information on this webinar. I sincerely appreciate all of you spending time with me. This will be recorded. And again, any questions you have, please let us know. As soon as we have more information on timeline, on pricing, and other things, we will be sure to let you all know. So with that said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate your time, and we really appreciate your partnership. Have a great day.